The park had been closed for 11 years. Everyone in town knew that. Everyone knew you didn't go there after dark. The fence had rusted shut, the slide had collapsed, and the merry-go-round hadn't moved since 2013. The whole place smelled like wet wood and something else, something harder to name. But the swing still worked. The old metal one, second from the left. It moved when there was no wind. Nobody could explain it. Every other piece of equipment had fallen apart, but that swing kept going slow and steady, like someone was still sitting on it. Marcus was 17, and he didn't believe in ghost stories. That's what he told his friends when they dared him to spend the night there. He said it loud, the way people do when they're trying to convince themselves more than anyone else. His friend Deja raised an eyebrow. "Then stay the night." "Fine," he said. He packed a backpack, water, snacks, his phone, a flashlight. He told himself he was being smart. He didn't tell himself the truth, which was that he was already nervous before he even left his house. He got to the park just before 10. The fence wasn't hard to get through. Someone had bent back part of the chain link near the east side years ago, and it was never fixed. He squeezed through, felt the metal catch his jacket, pulled free, and stood inside. The park looked worse up close. Grass growing through cracked concrete. The water fountain turned completely green. The light pole had no bulb, so the only light came from the street lights outside the fence, just enough to see shapes. Not enough to see clearly. Marcus turned on his flashlight and swept it across the park. Slide, merry-go-round, broken climbing frame, and then the swings, 4 in a row. 3 of them covered in rust, but the second one from the left, those chains looked different, less rusted. Like something had been using them. He sat down on the swing at the far end and told himself this was simple. Sit here until morning, collect $20 from Deja, go home. He checked the time. 4 p.m. 20 minutes passed. Nothing happened. He ate chips. He scrolled his phone. He was starting to feel pretty stupid when he heard it. Laughter. Quick and light. A little kid, gone before he could be sure he'd heard it. Marcus stood up and shone his flashlight around the park. Nothing. He told himself it was someone outside the fence. Sound carries at night. He sat back down. Then the swing moved, the second one from the left. It went forward slowly, not the way a swing moves when pushed, but the way it moves when someone is sitting on it and leaning. Then back, then forward again, back and forth, smooth and steady. Marcus stood up again. There was no wind. He could feel that. The air was completely still. His own hair wasn't moving. Nothing, no breeze, no gust, could explain what he was seeing. The swing kept going. "Hello?" he said. His voice came out smaller than he wanted. Nothing answered. The swing just kept moving like it hadn't heard him, or didn't care. He stepped closer and shone the flashlight directly on it. Looked hard at the chains, the seat, the ground underneath. No wires, no strings, nothing attached. Just the swing, moving by itself, in completely still air. Then the laughter came again. Closer this time. Coming from inside the park, Marcus spun around and pointed his flashlight toward the sound. Past the merry-go-round, past the climbing frame, past the slide. Nothing. But he was sure now. It wasn't outside the fence. It wasn't his imagination. It was a child's laugh, high and bright and wrong somehow. Missing something that a real laugh has. He called Deja. She picked up on the second ring. "Giving up already? The swing is moving," he said. "Right now." No wind. A pause. "Marcus, get out of there." "It's probably just... Everyone says don't go there at night. My grandmother says don't go there." "Leave." "I heard laughing too," he said. "A kid, inside the park." Deja went quiet. Then she said clearly, "In 2009, a little girl went missing from that park. Her name was Callie. She was 6 years old. They found her shoe near the swings. They never found her." Marcus looked at the swing. still moving. The swing she was on when she disappeared, Deja said, was the second one from the left. The laughter came again, right behind him. Marcus spun around. The park was empty. "Marcus?" Deja's voice through the phone. "What was that?" "It's right next to me," he whispered. "Leave. Right now. Don't look around. Just go." The flashlight died. Full battery. Good flashlight. It just went out. He shook it, tapped it. Nothing. He switched his phone to flashlight mode. Weaker beam. He could see maybe 4 feet in front of him. Everything past that was black. The swing was still moving. He could hear it without seeing it, the soft creak of the chains, back and forth, regular as breathing. He swept the phone light around the park. The merry-go-round was moving, slow, just barely turning, the way it would if a small child had given it a gentle push. Then the laughter again, so close he could hear the breath in it, the little inhale between sounds. The way a real child laughs when something is genuinely funny. Coming from right beside the swing, Marcus took a step back. The laughter stopped. Everything stopped. The swing stopped. The merry-go-round stopped. Like whatever was here had noticed he was leaving and decided to wait. He took another step back, then another. Walking backward, phone light aimed at the swings, making it toward the main path and the fence. The second swing launched forward, hard and fast, like someone had jumped off it and run. The chains snapped tight, and the whole frame shook. Marcus swung the light to the ground beneath it. Footprints, small ones, child-sized, in the soft dirt near the base of the swing. And as he watched, more appeared, one by one, pressing into the ground, coming toward him, small bare feet, moving fast. Marcus ran. He didn't think his body just went. He sprinted for the east fence, and behind him the laughter came back, louder now, a giggling, breathless, running laugh, the sound a child makes when they're chasing you, when they're about to catch up, when they think it's funny. He hit the fence and shoved through the bent section. Metal tore his jacket and cut his arm. He pulled through anyway and fell out onto the sidewalk. He ran 2 blocks before he stopped, under a streetlight, breathing hard, hand on his knees, his arm bleeding, phone still in his hand. He turned around and looked back. Through the fence, in the dark, the swing was moving again, slow, steady, back and forth, and from inside faint now, almost gentle, the laughter. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He sat on his bed and stared at the wall until the sun came up. He kept replaying it, trying to find the explanation. Loose hinges, a prank, wind he somehow hadn't felt, the footprints appearing one by one in the dirt, getting closer. Nothing explained that. In the morning, he looked up Callie's name. It took 10 minutes to find the news story. Local paper, September 2009, 6 years old. Brown hair, yellow dress, missing from Fairview Park. Her shoe, a small white sneaker found near the second swing from the left. No other trace. Case still open. He looked at her school photo for a long time. She was smiling the way kids do in school pictures. A little too big, a little stiff. He thought about the laugh, the way it had sounded when it was right next to him. Not scary exactly, just wrong. Like something that had learned to copy a sound without understanding what it meant. And he thought about the footprints, not wandering, not playing, moving toward him, fast, purposeful. He thought about what would have happened if he hadn't run. 2 weeks later, a 9-year-old boy went missing from the neighborhood. His name was Daniel, playing outside after dinner. Didn't come home. His parents called the police at 9. By 10, the whole neighborhood was searching. They found his backpack at the east fence of Fairview Park, water bottle inside, his house keys. His shoes were found inside the fence, near the swings. The second one from the left was still moving when police arrived. The first officer on scene wrote it in her report. No wind present at time of arrival. Cause of movement unclear. Daniel was never found. 3 days after he disappeared, a woman walking her dog past the park stopped on the sidewalk. She heard laughing. 2 voices, she said. One she didn't recognize. and one that sounded older, like a child who had been laughing for a very long time. It was the second voice that scared her. Not the new one, the one that already knew how to play. The park is still there, fence still rusted, slide still collapsed, light pole still dark. But the swing still moves. And if you stand outside the fence on the right kind of night, still air, no wind, you'll hear it. The laughter. And if you listen long enough, you'll notice something. It's getting closer. It's always getting closer. Don't go to the fence. Don't look through it. And whatever you do, don't let it hear your name. Subscribe and like this video if you enjoy horror stories.